sure that you're going and you're seeing this thing, because I promise it's going to be something to see.
Yeah, not every day you get to see a public execution.
What's up, everybody? Scott Owen from Southern Indiana Combat Production. We are here with Road Trip with Southern Indiana Combat Production in Indianapolis, an American Top Team, speaking with the other half of the main event, Dustin Parrish. Dustin, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Scott, excited to be part of Southern Indiana Combat. Excited to put on a show down there this October.
We're excited to have you, and that's going to be October 5th. Doors open at 4 o'clock. First bell's going to start at 5. It's going to be at the Old National Events Plaza. Dustin, you've been in this game for quite some time now, man.
15 years coming up on. I took my first fight a month after my high school graduation when I was 18. Turned pro at 23, 24. I'm 31 now. So it's like, you've been in the game a long time. You know, it's exciting to be here. Exciting to, headlining exciting cards like this one here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Records 10-5 as a pro. You just fought LFA, right?
Yeah, just took a loss down to LFA versus a very good guy from Chile. Step up on the big stage. It swings your way sometimes. It doesn't others.
Absolutely.
Had a weird exchange. Got caught. Sometimes you get got. I mean, that is what it is. So
Absolutely.
It's time to get back on the winning path. Get back on the right way. And I think a great fight with Zach's going to be the best way to do that. He's a great competitor, a heck of a showman, and I'm excited to get to share the cage with him.
I know here at Southern Indiana Combat, myself as a fan, I know the fans are excited to see this matchup because you have a huge following in the state of Indiana, and Zach has a huge following in the state of Indiana and Illinois. Yeah. And I think this fight was like one of those ones that it has to happen.
Well, it was one of those ones that just kept kind of lingering out there. I know we had talked previously about me coming down and fighting for you guys.
Right.
And then you guys had some things happen down there, and it never clicked up timing wise. So when it finally did come together, I was excited because for me it was okay. I get to work with a promotion who's doing the right things, doing it the right way. I get to come down, fight an exciting fighter on a big card. You can't ask for much more than that, especially on the regional scene.
Man, I appreciate it. And this is the first time that you fought for Southern Indiana Combat. Yeah. We pride ourselves in taking care of fighters, man. And I hope that the experience that you're getting ready to have with us, that it'll bring you back and your gym back and build that great rapport.
Worked with a lot of different promotions over the years as both an athlete and a coach.
Right.
Been the head coach here a few years now, and so being able to work with the variety of promotions and knowing a lot of guys over the years. Jacob Perlock spoke highly of you, which to me was enough of the recommendation. He was like, "Hey, they'll take care of you if you want to come down there," and I was like, "Perfect, I'll be down."
Jacob's my boy, man. I love that guy to death. Yeah. So whenever you're not training, you're not fighting. Tell us about Dustin. What does Dustin do?
Father of 3 bratty little boys. Love them to death. Married to the woman of my dreams. We actually celebrate our 6th anniversary tomorrow. So
that's
married
awesome.
to a woman who's way too good and way too beautiful for me for 6 years now. So she's, a lot of people talk about how their wife's their ball and chain. She's absolutely not. She is my sail. She lifts me up. Couldn't be more blessed to have her. So, when I'm not training, when I'm not coaching, I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with them, running my son back and forth to wrestling practice over at my brother's wrestling academy. And just, spending time with them as much as I can.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. And this is a career for you. This fighting, training, I mean, it's a career for you. And you have to have a strong woman in that background to be able to help you on this venture.
Yeah, there's not a chance I'd be where I am today if not for her.
That's
just
awesome.
Simply for the fact of what she allows me to do. Having 3, she's taking 2 little boys right now through a grocery store by herself because I'm not at home watching them while she goes to the grocery shop. So it's like the sacrifices she makes to allow me to pursue this career is amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. Watching her, some of my fans love watching her watch me fight more than they like watching me fight because she just gets so animated. We had a fight one time out in Pittsburgh where I fought the hometown guy who had sold, I think we talked to the promoter, over 100 some odd tickets.
Right.
And I beat him in the first round, stop him. The entire event venue goes silent except for the 3 people there cheering for me. It was so audibly different that the mics for the announcer and the commentary crew picked up my wife because everything else was dead silent.
Really?
It was insane to watch. So yeah.
Well, happy early anniversary from us at Southern Indiana Combat,
Appreciate
man.
that.
I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. You talked about you went to Pittsburgh, fought a hometown boy. You're used to the big stages, man. You go to places and you fight a lot of hometown favorites and everything like that. Zach has a pretty big following. and he's our current 170 title holder. And you're in hopes of grasping that title from Zach. Any nerves? What's going through your mind whenever you lead to a big fight like this?
It's exciting for me. If it was all, hey, let's walk into hometown territory and fight some pud, it's great. It's really fun. You get to feel good about yourself when you do it.
Right.
But it feels good for about this long.
Yeah.
When you go into a dude's hometown and you silence the crowd, that just has a different feeling to it. And so I think me and Zach are going to put on a heck of a fight. I think he's
Absolutely.
an absolutely talented fighter. If I was to sit here and tell you, I would love to have some terrible backstory where Zach's the villain in this story. I've never met him. So,
Okay.
So it's one of those. Unfortunately, he has a belt that I would like to wear around my waist. So unfortunately, we have to fight about that.
Absolutely.
But he seems like a really good guy. He's a heck of a showman. I love the fact that he has a different walkout theme every time. In fact, he does all that. It's really cool to me. I think he puts a lot of effort into that. So I think it'll be a fun and exciting event for the fans.
Dude, we're pumped. We're pumped. I know me as a fan, like this, I couldn't ask for a better card.
Yeah.
We got 9 pro fights on the card right now, 15 amateur fights. It's going to be a long night for you, but at the same time, we're excited. I don't think it's going to be there's not a boring fight on the card right now.
No, everyone I had seen on the card is all people. I'm like, I got to be in the back not watching a bunch of these fights. I'm like, that's not ideal, but it's going to be a great night. I think the fans are definitely going to get their money's worth just out of some of the other pro title fights on the card, nonetheless mine. So that's what's going to excite me is, obviously getting to cap off a big card like this, being in the main event. You feel that pressure of, hey, we got to close the show out with a bang.
Right.
And that's what I'm excited to do.
Absolutely. So we're here in your gym, American Top Team. And by the way, lovely gym. And you guys got everything. Cage in the back, ring over here. Literally everything that you could possibly want in a mixed martial arts, boxing, or just a competitive gym is all right here.
Yeah.
How did you come about getting involved in this?
So, I joined American Top Team probably close to 10 years ago under Carlos Diaz. That's who I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu from. And so when I joined the team here, we were originally downtown, as I was telling you earlier, and hectic parking and just kind of the chaos of being on the circle downtown, basically. We decided to move out here a little bit more off, out of the center of downtown. And this is a great facility. We've been here 7-ish years, I think. So we've been here a while, really grown into the space, which has been awesome. So we have obviously the jiu-jitsu mats and everything in the back. We obviously have the nice boxing ring here and then a boxing fitness area, but it's great. I mean, we have a great team here.
You guys got some guys competing tonight, right?
Yeah, so we got Darrell Davenport. He's fighting up in Newcastle. We got a lot of guys who compete kind of all over, kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu. I mean, we send guys. We got guys out. Matumbo's out fighting in Pittsburgh in a pro boxing fight. We got Darrell down there. We got guys who are doing stuff. We travel to the ADCC tournaments. I mean, we do a lot of competing around here, and that's what people come to American Top Team for. I mean, we're one of the top programs and academy systems in the country for a reason. That's what we get to continue on here.
Definitely well-known gym. Well-known gym. Multiple coaches for different things. You being one of the coaches here as well. Is there an area that you specify in, or do you just kind of do a little bit of everything?
So the big thing I do is I run the jiu-jitsu program, so I'm kind of the head of that, and then I help coach the MMA program as well, obviously, with Austin Tweedy, top-level pro, fight on Dana White's Contender Series. Is fortunately and unfortunately my main sparring partner. Fortunately, because he's a heck of an athlete, and I get to do
he's a monster
work.
of a guy.
Unfortunately, because he hits me, and I have to deal with that. So, we got guys like him around. We got one of my kickboxing coaches, Matt, who comes in especially just to work with me and hit mitts and work on things. So that's awesome. I think we have probably the best strength conditioning / nutrition coach in the game. His name is JJ. He's really turned around my ability to be strong, be fast, be athletic, all the things I want to be while also losing weight and doing all that. So getting to have some actual science and not the bro science I was bringing to the game is quite nice. He makes the weight cut look easy on me, since we've been working with him. I mean, I haven't had to worry about making the weight. I just send him a screenshot of what my scale tells me, and he tells me what I'm allowed to do that day. So it's awesome to have the team we have here. The support of, Tito, the owner here, is amazing. I mean, he makes sure we have everything we need. We're about to do a bunch of upgrades to the facility here in the next coming weeks or so. Well,
it's exciting, man. It's exciting. I used to own a gym. It's called American Crido Kickboxing. And it was predominantly a kickboxing gym. And I can remember one of our guys actually came up and fought Austin.
Yeah.
And just Austin was a tough person to match. They called me, and I talked to one of our pros, and I was like, "Look, man, it is what it is. It's a fight game. You know, let's jump on it and take it for the opportunity." Austin was a monster of a fight for him. It was good though. It was good.
Yeah,
good
someone
experience.
who gets the ringside seat to his fight most of the times, because he'll be in my corner for this fight. I will be in his corner for his most recent fight out in Pittsburgh. He fought Colin Worthy, UFC, I think 4 or 5 time UFC vet on 3 days notice. And I got to drive out to Pittsburgh and, watch that fight happen, a split decision in a dude's hometown on his home promotion on 3 days notice. You can't ask for much more.
Well, that's super cool about this place, and you can tell as well, especially with your coaching staff, and all of these guys are recognized. So the big theory of don't get ready for a fight, stay ready for a fight. You guys instill that here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have guys right now. It's 10 o'clock here, and so the jiu-jitsu class is about to get going. You can see the boxing guys in the background that are already working. We got the kids that you're seeing running around are all getting ready for silver gloves.
That's awesome.
So they'll get ready for silver gloves. We got a bunch of the boxing guys will come in and get some sparring in today. The jits and kickboxing classes will get going here in a few minutes. I mean, we just have a team that's constantly working because we do, being American Top Team, we do get a lot of phone calls from employers like, hey, I need 3 guys for this card in a month and a half. Great, we got them. No worries. We'll send some people down your way. And so it's great to be able to grab cool opportunities, both locally and regionally, and even sometimes nationally. I mean, we've gotten some phone calls for some big fights regionally, and even some big fights that didn't end up coming together internationally because of kind of the connections we have. So that's the thing we instill in a lot of our guys is stay after it, stay training, because you don't know what phone calls we're going to get.
I got you. So I always ask everybody that I have on, or try to anyway, long career, been in this game for a long time. What is your most memorable and best win that you've had? And then also, what is the one learning lesson from a defeat that you've had?
Yeah, best win. There's a couple that jump straight to mind. The one out in Pittsburgh definitely jumps out because that was at a time we had just found out my wife was pregnant, like 2 months before. Like I literally took the fight, and then like a week and a half later, we find out she's pregnant. So that one was a big one, just from a mix of emotions of, you're about to be a dad, you're about to do all these different big things. So that one was fun because I got to go into enemy territory, to a nice promotion, to what was probably the most hostile crowd I've stepped in front of. Most crowds I walk in front of, it's, hey, yeah, you're fighting the ticket seller. He sold a couple tickets. We're in a tiny venue. He sold half the VIP tables and 100 plus other tickets.
Everybody there is for him.
They said if he fell off the card, they weren't sure if they would have put on the show.
Oh, wow.
Type of card. It was one of those. So being able to fight him in his hometown and put on a clinic after he kind of made an ass of himself, in the lead up to the fight, he was chirping and all this. Then at weigh-ins, he makes an ass of himself, and I'm just like, "Hey, we already signed a contract to fist fight. I promise we're gonna fist fight. Like, we're gonna do that part of this already. You don't have to convince me to do that." To then put him out in the first round was a pleasure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then as far as biggest learning experience, I had a big fight up in Detroit. Versus, a gentleman of the sport, Willis Black. A fight I was winning. We saw the judges' scorecards afterwards. I was winning 10-8, 10-8 on all 3 judges' scorecards going into the third, and got sent absolutely to the shadow realm.
Oh,
it's
man.
on Fight Pass. It's hard to watch to this day because he hit me with an overhand right. I kind of stop on my knees, and he beats me like he should have, he needed to. And, the interesting lessons that came out of that really, one of my favorite pictures, oddly enough, with my wife is from that night. It's me and her sitting on a hospital gurney because they sent me to go get a CT scan for very legitimate reasons. Knowing who's around you for the right reasons. There are plenty of people in the locker room.
Yeah.
There's, no shortage of people willing to pop champagne, so to speak, with you.
Yeah.
The people who sat in the waiting room of that hospital lobby and ate pizza with me as I sat on that hospital gurney. Those are the people I know are with me for the right reasons.
See, that's awesome.
Like I said, there's a picture of me, and my wife loves it, and I love it too. I'm sitting there on a hospital gurney in the hallway of University of Michigan Hospital with a doofy look on my face because I'm probably still half unconscious.
Right.
Eating pizza with my wife as we all sit there and chat about what just happened. And so, you know, knowing who's around you for the right reasons, that was, you know, that was really cool to see that, you know, the sun will still shine, you'll still wake up in the morning, and all will still be well. So
Right.
That was really cool.
Well, I got to say, that's the first time I've heard anybody talk about a learning experience to see who's in your corner, man.
Yes.
I appreciate you sharing that with us. Again, look at October 5th, Old National Events Plaza, Evansville, Indiana. Dustin Parrish, he's half of the main event. Family guy, fighter, just a super humble man. Excited to have you guys there. Come check him out. Make sure your fans are there. You can get tickets through Ticketmaster. If you are wanting a table, those are sold directly through me, through Square, which you guys have already got some tables. But man, we're pumped to have you. I look forward to
I'm
it.
excited to be a part of the promotion. Like I said, I've been watching from afar, you know, seeing what you guys have been building down there, and it's been really exciting to see what's coming up for you guys and kind of the way you've been handling everything down there. So that's been really cool. Watching from afar, getting to come down for the first time and be the main event's obviously a pleasure. You know, I'm excited to be down there. Hope to put on an amazing performance for SAC.
We're excited. We're excited. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors. D. Patrick, he is the main sponsor for this card October 5th at Fall Brawl, Southern Indiana Combat Production 6. We also have Wind Supply. They are our title sponsors, so you'll have Wind Supply logo on there as well. Scott Reed does fabulous down there. He's a big fight fan. Can't wait to introduce you to him.
Yeah.
We got Duncan's Janitorial. They're going to be in our red and blue corners as our sponsors, as well as J&C Steel. Multiple sponsors coming out of Woodwork. I know I'm forgetting a couple, so forgive me. I'll give you a shout on the next one if I did. But do you have any sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, always love to give some love to GFY Gear. They make sure I'm constantly have the best boxing gloves, shin pads, MMA gloves I could need. They take great care of me on that. Ink Therapy Tattoo over in Plainfield, Indiana. You know, Chris is a big fight fan. He's taken care of me for years. He's probably my longest running sponsor at this point. Him and GFY both came in about the same time. You know, obviously American Top Team, always love to give some love to them. Contender Wrestling Academy, my brother's academy, they're opening their third location up in Noblesville, Indiana here this coming fall. So always love to shout him out when I can. He's helped me for a long time, so always good to see that.
Okay. All right, brother. Well, again, thank you for coming on. Come check out Dustin Parrish, October 5th, Southern Indiana Combat Production 6 Fall Brawl. It's going to be at Evansville, Indiana at the Old National Events Plaza. Doors will open at 4. First bell at 5. We'll see you there.
Remember, we just hit harder.
Don't talk shit if you walk shit. Get dropped hard like a money bag. Don't brag much, but I stack much. That's hundreds on hundreds. I'm keeping it real.